Skuel. Salutations and a clenched fist salute, YouTube renegades. Ever wonder how a prison riot starts? Prison riots are probably the most dangerous incident that can take place inside a prison for inmates and staff alike. Join me, your boy the Outlaw, today as I have a conversation with a validated prison boogeyman and self-proclaimed prison reformist, Mr. Two Scoops, Brant Daniels, as he explains to us, YouTube renegades, how prison riots start inside of California prisons. Welcome, bienvenidos, once again to the one and only Outlaw News, the small 2,000 plus nobody platform on YouTube that tends to spray the YouTube yarda though with the flare tip can of Krylon Glecha. I am your host, the YouTube Magonista, the voice of the barrio, the voice of the vato loco, the voice of the voiceless. Que pasa, pinche cyber raza? I hope all is well today in cyber vato land, and everyone is here today either 113 or 114% fully fucking activated and strapped with their critical thinking beanies on extra low, YouTube renegades. So, if you think you're suited and booted today, y viniste listo for acción, let's mount up, Outlaw Posse, and take a slow cruise to Conspiracy Boulevard. So, welcome everybody to the channel. With me today is my guest host, Two Scoops, Mr. Daniels, Brant Daniel. Can you say hi to everybody?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I send mine to the worthy. I hope everybody's well.
Okay, Outlaw Renegades, me and our boy, Two Scoops, just came on today to give you guys a little story. He wants to talk to you guys today, and I'm going to let him take the floor. I might ask a few little questions here and there, interrupt, but I'm going to let him take the floor, and he wants to tell you, Outlaw Renegades, the true story of how riots start inside prisons. So, the floor is yours. Go ahead, my guy.
All right. What's up, folks? So check it out, man. As you guys know, we did the end hostilities in Pelican Bay along with the hunger strikes, and there was a big reason for this. Due to senseless racial violence on these level 4 yards and some level 3 yards, that was being fomented and incited by cops, we felt that we needed to put an end to it, and we needed to come together and join forces across racial boundaries to cease and assist all these bullshit riots that are taking place throughout California prison system that has been orchestrated and fomented by the cops. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story, and it's definitely a true story. I lived it, I seen it, and I've lived through the riots in High Desert. I've been shot with that Mini 14 in High Desert in the big riot myself, and it's nothing nice. It's nothing nice when you're in a war zone. You got bullets flying, people with big old weapons everywhere, and it's just nothing nice. I tell you, in 1999, my friend, I was right here in New Folsom, BR, GP, back in the days before they took the tobacco. I mean, it was a good place to do time at. If you had to do time, no prison is cool, so don't get it twisted. But this line here, New Folsom back in 99, was a cool, smooth prison to do time. If you wasn't a rat, chomo, rapo, or lockup, it was good to go. Well, so you got 400 or 500 people on the yard one day, black, white, Mexicans, and all of a sudden they do a yard down. The main tower, start yelling, "Get out, get out!" So everybody sits down on the ground. We're looking for the fight or melee or whatever, and there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing going on. We're tripping. Well, they recall the yard, mandatory recall, take it back to the cell. So we go back to the cell. We don't know what the fuck happened. Well, lo and behold, the next morning, around 9 o'clock, we're slammed hard lockdown. And back then lockdown was 6, 7, 8 months. They didn't care. Well, they passed out. The staff, cops, CO, correctional officers passed out 700 memorandums to prisoners. Every cell, 700 memorandums. And on these memorandums, they were telling us why we were locked down. They claimed that they found kites on a black dude coming out of Adseg to immediately get off on Sureño Mexicans. And that they were locking down the yard for the next at least 2 weeks to a month for weapon searches. No visits, no commissary, no packages, no phone calls, no nothing. Well, lo and behold, it was untrue. It was untrue. They never found no kites. They never found anything. And then, thank goodness, older dudes were around back then, C numbers and B numbers and D numbers, because they knew it was a ploy by the cops due to 90% of the shit at High Desert being orchestrated by the cops and their inside fomenting violence. They're using these undercover snitches in one race to go spread this bogus information, and then they go over here to this other race, spread bogus information. Next thing you know, you got a heightened situation. It's heated. Everybody's on their toes, and it's as soon as you hit that yard, it could kick. Well, this time, thank goodness it didn't. It was exposed, and it came out that a couple of these fucking dirty ass cops, they fabricated the whole thing. They manipulated it. They fomented it. They incited it, and they came out with them memorandums. And that was a big thing. That was a big part of why we ended the hostilities, man. Because a lot of us seen what they were doing at that time, man. And it's statewide, up and down the state. Back in the 90s, in early 2000s, they would go around playing people, race against race, and just sitting.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
They were sitting back, taking the shit that we did get, conjugal visits, weights, positive programs, tobacco, and yet we're sitting here going at each other for the cops. Let me call back, my friend.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, now.
Okay, you're back. So you were telling us about the privileges that they took away when they were instigating that riot at, I believe, Folsom in '99, right?
Right.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Well, it wasn't.
Can I ask you a question before you
Yeah.
continue? Now, these 700
Yeah.
memorandums that they passed around, is that routinely something they do, pass around memorandums like that, or was that something out of the ordinary that they did?
That was something out of the ordinary. They don't ever pass out memorandums like that.
So
that's how we knew it was being orchestrated by the cops.
Okay, because that's what I was curious, if that was something they routinely did, or if that just kind of drew you guys as like a red flag to, hey, something's not right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the latter, yep.
Okay, good. Okay, so continue with your story. You were telling us about the privileges that they took.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so when they did that, that passed out them memos, cooler heads prevailed because they don't ever do that, and we could tell, the Mexicans and blacks could tell that, this is being fake. This is fake. Something's wrong. So nobody jumped, but it's shit like this that has started a lot of fucking issues between the races. And, if you look at 10 years from 95 to 2005, right, many people got hurt in CDCR. High Desert, Salinas Valley, New Folsom, Pelican Bay, many people been stabbed, shot, sliced, and beat up. behind the race riots that was orchestrated and inflamed by the officers and the cops and IGI and undercover snitches that are working like Donnie Brasco's on these yards. And well, they got us all hating on each other, all the blue hating on each other. They got nothing to worry about. So what they did, they start taking all our privileges. They took the conjugal visits from all lifers, and when they did that, they changed the face of convicts doing time to have life. Because if you have life, at least you can go out there and have a boneyard with your old lady every 90 days, right? You can still have some sort of relationship with your wife, kids and shit, you know. Your little family come hang out with you for the weekend, and it was cool. But they took that. Then they took the weights. And then they took the tobacco. And they don't got nothing to worry about because all these racists are going to war with each other over their deceit, over their manipulation, over cops' manipulation. And that, my friend, was a huge reason for the hostilities.
Okay, now, these conjugal visits, the tobacco, the weights, all this stuff, is this stuff that most convicts would use to escape from the day-to-day realities of prison? What I mean is, like, say when you're having a bad day or you're just fucking pissed off, were those kind of ways that the convicts blew off steam with, like tobacco, and we obviously working out's really good to, you know, to blow off some steam or just to, you know, make you feel good afterwards, you know. And conjugal visits, we know you're gonna walk away feeling good from those. So were these all things that most of you guys used to, like, just to, you know, I guess to create a positive vibe amongst yourselves?
Oh, absolutely, man. They were positive outlets. Whether, you know, it's a boneyard visit with your old lady and make you feel good, man, come back and you're like, damn, there's something better than just sitting here locked in a box, man. I need to try to get home to that, you know? Or, you know, you may want to get on the iron pile and do your daily workout and get your drive on. And you know, or smoke a cigarette. You know, when they took the tobacco, I seen a lot of craziness happen. You know, people, that's definitely a hard thing to kick, man. And you know, it changed the system. It changed the system with those three things right there.
That was going to be my next question.
Weights and tobacco.
That was going to be my next question, Brant. Did you notice that tensions kind of got hotter, or there were just more issues and problems after they took all that away?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, is it possible that maybe they knew that psychologically, by taking these things away, that not only were they punishing you guys, but it would help foster more problems, which obviously are beneficial to them over time, higher budgets, new task force, more money?
Absolutely, bro. They knew it. They knew it. They had big think tanks involved in doing it, and they knew it would foster violence. Therefore, they can go to the public, ask for inflated funds. You know, ask for more funds being kicked back to them because they needed to create all these new subsections of cops on the streets and prison. It just that's what it's all about, is to foment the violence in the prison so they can go to the public and say, see, they're animals. We got to keep them locked up. We need more money. That's what they're doing.
Okay, so you want to continue? I mean, anything else you want to tell us about your story, or?
Okay, so on that trip right there in New Folsom 99 VR, cooler heads prevailed, right? And that was a good thing because it's out of the ordinary that they pass out memorandums telling you some shit like that, man. And you know, when you have a bunch of lifers on yards that are maybe 40 years old and younger, and you have no positive outlets, you got no nothing to live for, no hope, no nothing. It is a recipe for disaster, and they know it. Then they go around, fan these flames, start this shit here, start this shit there, fan the flames, use their undercovers to help them. Next thing you know, you got a full-blown fucking war, man, between the races. And they just sit back and take. They sit back and take, my friend. So, and I'm telling y'all, man, I've been through big riots in high desert. I've been shot with that Mini 14, and my buddy got...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You know, my buddy got shot and killed when I got shot, and, you know, it was a major riot, and this shit is not cool. You know, it's all orchestrated by the cops. Like, you know, I'm sure you remember this yourself, Outlaw, that stuff in Corcoran, when
Yes,
they set up the gladiator fights. So it's the same mentality, just on a bigger scale.
Oh, I have a better one for you.
Between races.
I have a better one to use in the
Okay.
Corcoran gladiator fights, because I know you were at High Desert. Are you aware, I believe it was 2006 or 2007, where the Department of Justice conducted an investigation on what was happening at High Desert, and they came out with an official report in where they claimed that the racial tensions were being created by the staff, and that there was repeatedly evidence to prove that it was being fostered by staff. So much so that they started causing a lot of reforms at that prison.
Right. I heard of this report, right? And I've heard of this investigation, but I've never seen the report myself, read it, or anything. But I do know that's true.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
how they do it. And
Yeah,
that's what they do.
I read the report. The report said that they would foster racial tensions amongst races, that they would tell the whites that the blacks were plotting on them, and then they would go around and tell the blacks that the whites were going to try to stab them. And then there were reports of them going and openly just walking down the tiers and calling people racial slurs and homophobic names, basically trying to instigate inmates to assault staff so then they can use that to portray their prison boogeyman fairy tales.
Right. No, I've seen it. I've lived it. I've seen it, and I've lived it. You know, it's like nowadays, my friends, they're playing politics. You know, they're playing prison politics. You know, not all of them. Don't get it wrong. And they're playing prison politics, and you know, they some of them think they're gangsters. They think they're slick. They go around politicking with the undercover snitch against somebody that snitch don't like, and then we find out, and then, you know, hey man, then something happens, and then they go cry about it. Oh, it's this, and then, you know, somebody got hurt, and you know, it can't be guards and gangsters in green. You're just a guard, you know. You're not a gangster. You're not a thug. You're not something that's gonna do anything other than you're supposed to turn a key, and that's it, and stop people from escapes, or stop people from killing other people. That's it. You're not supposed to help. You're not supposed to foment violence, and that's what they're doing. And you know, and they're doing it within races now. It's not just so much the one race against the other. They're fostering violence within each race, you know. And if you're on their good side, you're gonna get some action. If you're spitting out their agenda and conforming to their agenda, they're gonna give you a little bit more action that they're not gonna give a guy like myself and my friend Robert that's at the Bay. And you know, this is what they do. So when you guys hear about these staff assaults, 90% are on SOI yard. And I can probably guarantee you it wasn't just out of the blue. You know, a lot of the shit that goes on in prison, my friend, is provoked by them. It's provoked. So, you know, you guys gotta look beyond what's being said and figure, like, hey, something else is going on here, man. Something else is going on.
Now,
So,
how does that make you feel?
That's my take on it.
Yeah. How does that make you feel? Like, or can you speak of the overall feeling of how does that make you guys feel, knowing that you guys are under such pressure and that the chaos is being fostered by them and it's pretty much out of your control?
It's maddening. I'll say that it's maddening. It is like, okay. So first of all, we're in a prison cell in a level 4 doing life. It's bad enough, right? It's bad enough already. We're paying our debt to society just being in the box. Okay, everything else is cruel and unusual punishment that's being done. And for a guy like myself, it enrages me sometimes to know that an officer will go around slandering myself or my friend, and they'll give up a little action to somebody who's undercover working with them, a little bit more leeway. They'll turn a blind eye, or they'll just flat out give him action that they don't give us. So it does, man. It fosters anger. It fosters enrage. Sometimes you gotta dial it back and just be like, okay, I see what's going on, right? All right, and just log it in the memory bank, and wait your turn, because it's gonna come. It's gonna come, and it might end up on your good side. You might be on the long end of the stick, and they're on the short end of the stick. But something's gonna happen, because it never really goes without being checked and balanced, right? And it always comes to light. It always comes to light, man. But yeah, it does. It fosters a fucked up program and a lot of hostility. And that's what they want. That's what they want.
Oh yeah, they don't want an end to hostilities. They want to encourage the hostilities.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Right. Let me call back, my friend.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, now.
Okay, so we were talking about the Folsom riot, but I wanted to ask you on topic but off topic, I guess. I wanted to ask you about the I believe the infamous 2002 Pelican Bay riot. You were already validated and locked up in the SHU when that happened, right?
Yeah, but I was here at New Folsom, validated, waiting to catch the chain to go up there. Yeah.
Okay. Now
I came down here for court.
Now, to your knowledge, are you aware that incident was actually an incident that was ordered by an alleged prison boogeyman, or do you and others feel that incident was fostered by staff as well?
That was fostered by staff, and there's no doubt about it. And we figured that out when I finally got back to the Bay after being out for court. I got back up there, and a friend of mine was involved in that, and he had told me that that was all manipulated by the cops. And so, a lot of these things, we come together, and it's like, wait a minute, man, look at this one, look at this one, look at this one, and look at this one. And the cops have hands in all of it. And if they don't have a hand in it, they got a finger in it. They don't got a finger, they got a fingerprint on it. So, it's just, it has to stop. People have to wake up and see what they're doing, because they're trying to manipulate the circumstances, even to this very day. And I got a story for you right now on what they just did in this building 2 days ago since I last talked to you. And now they're trying to incite another big issue here in this ad seg, and it's crazy.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And this is just right after they had that incident, right, where they just had the one individual, the chomo that was killed.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So check this out. Okay, we got these tablets, right? And in the building, we got this thing called a kiosk machine. Okay, well, it has a video. I can go visit my family on this video, right? Because my wife lives 4 hours away, and I can video chat with her on this kiosk. So here's what these cops did. Now, check this little move out, but it has a big repercussion. Okay, well, you got these J-Cats that come back here, and, there's a black dude who cell extracted, for whatever reasons. Well, he wanted to do it again. He was going to do it again. And instead of doing it again, they bribed him and told him that they would put him on the kiosk. Well, he's disciplinary status. He's not even supposed to touch that kiosk. That kiosk is for non-disciplinary only. Guys like myself, guys like my co-defendants, a few other people that are back here by no fault of our own. So they bribed this dude. He's a J-Cat, weenie whacker, weirdo. And these are the type of dudes they play and they use to their advantage. So they put him in the room with the kiosk. And what's he do? Used it for 2 hours and completely obliterated the kiosk machine. Broke it, tore it up, and what the cops do? Went around and told everybody who did it and why. Why? Now they're trying to target this dude by using all of us with the hostility against the guy because now we can't see our family. So, first of all, they should have never had him in there. And they did it in order to try to manipulate the situation so he wouldn't cell extract. So they're rewarding good, bad behavior with, the reward. No, that wasn't you. They're rewarding these type of dudes that gunsling with their wieners on the female staff and their S&Ys and putting them in these rooms with the kiosk machine. Well, they break it, then they go around and tell us who did it and why. So you see how they're trying to foster more violence.
So it's almost like they're passing memorandums again, right? Except they're actually verbally passing them.
Yeah, it's almost the same thing. Right. It's almost the same exact move, man. It's almost the same exact move. And they know, guys like myself, we take our little visitation with my wife and my family. That's all I get. That's all we get. And they know they weren't supposed to do that in the first place. But they did it because they didn't want to extract the dude again. And it's like, so I get my shit fucked off because the guard don't want to do his job and extract the dude, therefore rewarding him for his bad behavior and then fuck it off for everybody. And then they go around and they tell everybody who did it and why. So, again, yeah, that's exactly like that memorandum pass-out thing they did in 1999.
Now, I want to ask you one more... I think I have two more questions. I want to ask you my two last questions before we end this video.
Okay.
And now I'm going to be talking about, we're going to say, the High Desert Riot that you were involved in, and we'll say, the Pelican Bay Riot. Do you think those situations would have happened if the individuals who were validated and placed in the SHU were on those main lines?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We use critical thinking. Because we know that something so small it could have a huge effect on the whole prison, the whole program, and the outcome of what's going on. And I always say it only takes a spark to start a wildfire of 5,000 acres, right? And if you can keep that spark from starting, or if you can extinguish the flames fast enough, it won't get out of hand. And if we validated folks would have never been in the SHU, all those race wars and race riots that took place for 20 to 25 years, wouldn't have been that bad. I'm not going to bullshit. Yes, you're going to have little skirmishes. You're going to have little, head bumps. But full-out wars that go on for 5, 6 years, many bodies, shootings and stabbings and shit, no way. You would have never had that.
Wow, never would have had that. That's a bold statement, considering that the prison snitch influencers indoctrinate most individuals to believe that you guys order these incidents to take place. Now, my last and final, well, I actually have another question I want to ask when you said this, because it was so interesting what you said, that I want to ask you. Since the end of hostilities in 2012 to today, 2025, now that you guys are out of the SHU and some of you guys are actually on main lines, has there been any major incident between races?
To my knowledge and from my understanding, there's been a few small ones that rear their head and that are immediately put out as soon as possible. It's immediately extinguished as soon as possible, and it don't get out of hand. Like, there's been like a couple 5-on-5 or 5-on-10, 10-on-5, or, and it's done and over with, and we figure out what happened. People are held accountable for their actions, and it's done. It's over with, and you're not going to see no long, drawn-out racial wars like way back when. It's not going to happen.
So then you guys behave like convicts, right? And you guys handle it the convict way, not the inmate way, right?
Exactly. We behave like convicts. We know how to do time like convicts. Convicts can usually come to the table and figure out who's right and who's wrong. And I always say this, Outlaw, and I'll tell your viewers and my people, whoever's listening, right and wrong have no race. Right and wrong have no race. So that's how I do my decision making.
Right and wrong have no race. I like that. I like that. That's a good saying. Now, I have a closing question for you, because I want the viewers to walk away with a positive vibe, a good message for everyone. Unlike the Prison Boogie Man, who end their message with violence and gore and panhandle you for money, I want you to tell our viewers, because obviously, hopefully, we have some viewers who are living that criminal life and might be headed into prison and might end up being in a situation where a riot might happen or there's tensions. What would you tell that person to do in a situation like that? Now, I'm going to give you two scenarios. Would you encourage him, like the snitch influencers would do, to prepare yourself and go and sharpen your blade and psych yourself up to kill or be killed? Or would you encourage him to use his critical thinking skills and really think of what's happening and what's causing this situation to happen?
I would say the latter. Use your critical thinking skills before you do what you do in prison. Always think before you speak. Always think before you act, because there's going to be a reaction to your actions. And I'll say it like this, man. If you're some youngster and you feel disrespected by another race or whatever, there's somebody you can go to and get it talked out. You can go and just say, hey, man, I feel like old boy disrespected me. Or I feel like, this old boy owes me $30 over a football bet. And it can be worked out, man. There's always another alternative if you use your critical thinking skills before you go to the mattresses. And what that means is when you go to the mattresses, that's you're arming up, you're going out to battle. That should be the last resort you want to go to, because it's going to have massive repercussions. You're going to sit in the SHU. You're going to face a new term. You got cameras everywhere. DA's going to pick the case up on you. And if you got a date, your date's gone for what, $30? Or disrespect? Okay, well, if you go to the right people in the right places, and there's always somebody in the right spot that has a cool head and that is convict oriented. That's how you want to deal with that, man. And it could be dealt with in an appropriate manner, with a cool head, because cooler heads prevail.
Cooler heads prevail. It could be dealt with in a different manner. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate your insight, and I look forward to dropping another video with you, Two Scoops. Y era un gusto tenerte otra vez en el programa.
Igualmente, mi amigo, te lo agradezco a ti y tu gente allá afuera. And, I hope everybody has gotten a little something from us today. And just know that we work together for the greater good, man. And, I want to say that you guys check out Solid Behind Blue Eyes, because I'm putting it out there. Me and Outlaw are putting it out there. And, hopefully we got more to come. I know I'm ready. He's ready. And just be prepared to be enlightened, folks, because it's time to wake America up. I send my best to the worthy.
So don't forget to go over to Two Scoops channel, Solid Behind Blue Eyes, where you can get real content from a real convict. And while you're there, make sure you hit the sub and notification. And don't forget to leave a comment on this channel. And make sure you support this channel's Outlaw by doing the same and hitting the sub, notification, and leaving a comment. And always stay 113 or 114% fully fucking activated and strapped with your critical thinking beanies on extra tight, YouTube renegades, because there indeed is a war out for our minds, and there will always be a brand new snitch influencer who will be out to manipulate us with his lies and opinions. So with that said, a clenched fist salute y venceremos till next time.